Guys, it is time, and I am bursting at the seams right now. I am so incredibly excited to talk about this movie with you. And yes, I did have high hopes that it would be good and that I would be enthusiastic about doing this review, but I definitely did not expect it to be for this precise reason to such an extent. Because Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is a Sam Raimi horror movie. Before I go any further here, do know that this review is spoiler free. I will not go anywhere beyond what Marvel has already revealed in the marketing campaign for the movie. Beginning with their synopsis for the film. I know a lot of you don't need this, but just in case, as the title suggests, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness sees Benedict Cumberbatch's Stephen Strange venture into alternate realities in an effort to stop someone who's threatening the multiverse. First, let's focus on the story here. This movie is a really solid showcase for both Doctor Strange and Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda. You don't really need me to tell you how good the two of them are in their respective roles, but do know that they both do get the opportunity to tap into new layers of their character here, and I thought they made the most of every single second of it. Their stories and transformations here also pair especially well. Obviously, I won't get too deep into specifics on this, but the movie is largely about their struggles to manage not being able to have the things they want most, the things that they desperately want and will do anything for, and it's explored in a way where one can't really take a step forward with personal challenges without having this experience with the other, and that of course strengthens the film overall quite considerably. And ultimately, I do think that both characters land in a very realistic place that's well justified within this story and also makes a lot of sense for their MCU arcs. The movie does move pretty fast, and there's also a lot of multiverse things going on, obviously. So yes, there are certain character beats that I think maybe we could have spent a little more time with, but I also really do think that the frenetic feel of this movie pairs especially well with the tone and the style of it, so I wouldn't really want to risk any of that at all. Moving on to some supporting cast members here. As always, Benedict Wong's presence as Wong is it's a damn joy and delight. He exudes good vibes, strength, and integrity, and he often makes all of the characters around him better, and that's because of who Wong is as a character, as a person, but also because of how strong the chemistry is between Benedict Wong and everyone he shares the screen with. We've also got MCU newcomer Xochitl Gomez, who I would say makes a pretty big impression here for a number of reasons. America's budding connection with Doctor Strange does make up a considerable amount of this movie's heart, but it doesn't really matter who she's on screen with or what she's doing. I mean, that right there, what she delivers is some really powerful natural screen presence, and it's something that basically lets her do it all, and do it all at the same time, in a sense. America really benefits from Gomez's ability to deliver a very strong present performance while also making sure that you feel the weight of her past every single step of the way. Sometimes America may act like, a bit of a bratty teenager. She insists that she doesn't need help or tries to act more confident than she really is, and then she beautifully blends those qualities with real vulnerability and the weight of the trauma that she's carrying around with her and a huge amount of uncertainty given her current situation. It's a really delicate balance where Gomez manages to make the viewer aware of all of that at all times, and I found that made her evolution especially powerful and quite believable throughout the movie. All right, I'm gonna leave the character roll call there and move into the genre elements, and holy shit, guys, I don't think I'm ever gonna get over how far Marvel let Sam Raimi push it with this movie. The first act of the film does have a few beats where, Raimi dips into his bag of tricks, so to speak, but I would say from about the midpoint on, I felt like I was just frolicking through a Marvel Evil Dead haunted house mashup and set to the tune of a Danny Elfman score, no less. And for this horror lover, it was like a dream come true. And listen, some of it is weird. For me, it was this wonderfully out of left field kind of weird. And I do think a lot of the swings that they take in that respect are justified in the character arcs and also just given how wildly unpredictable the multiverse can be. But there might be a few beats in the mix there that did make me go, I don't know if you quite needed to go there with that, but I'm kind of loving it right now. Now, for a very specific scene that I wanted to bring up, one, because I do think it wound up being my favorite part of the entire film, and two, because I genuinely am very curious to see how everyone responds to it when the movie hits theaters. It's basically the moment when Raimi takes the horror violence up to an 11, at least by Marvel standards, and I mean really any movie standards for that matter. It's actually something that's been featured in the promotional campaign for the film a bit, and I'll tell you, even though I had seen some of it there, it didn't ruin the full experience for me one bit, because not in a million years did I ever think Disney and Marvel would give the okay to a sequence like that. Again, I loved it, but I can see a world where some might find it off-putting. One thing that didn't sit quite right with me, though, and, to be honest with this point, I don't really know how you address all of this in a single movie with a reasonable runtime. It's the effect that Doctor Strange and co. have on each reality as they go on this mission together, because they change things, and in some cases, they change things pretty significantly and then move on from it, and I was sitting there and just couldn't help but walk away from the movie worrying about certain realities that I saw so briefly and didn't even know before. The other, I guess I would call it a concern that I do have to note here is that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness can be quite scary and violent, and, I say this a lot. I always feel like I'm a bad judge of what's appropriate for younger moviegoers, but I was kind of shocked that this movie got a PG-13 rating and not an R rating. Also, there was a kid sitting near me in the theater, and on our way out, we asked him what he thought of the movie, and he didn't like it, so I am a little concerned that this Marvel movie won't be as family-friendly as other installments of the MCU, and it's something that does feel necessary to point out, because I do suspect some parents out there will take their kids to this film expecting more of the same, but it's not. It is significantly more intense. But, probably no surprise here, more intense, more horror, more bonkers material worked very well for me. So I am giving Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness 4.5 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimovie scale. I am a diehard Sam Raimi fan. I am a big fan of bonkers genre-bending movies, and I also love seeing established franchises take big creative swings. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness doesn't just tap into those things that I just mentioned, it went above and beyond with them, beyond really anything I thought would ever be realistic for a Marvel movie. Again, I can see that being a little bit of a turnoff to some, but my reaction to all of that was basically, excuse my language, but fuck yes, keep it weird, Marvel. I am just beyond thrilled that they went for it so big to such an extent with this movie. I had a blast with it. Can't wait to watch it over and over. That is where I'm leaving you on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. You know what has to happen now. It's a big one. So I'm going to insist that you all do this. When you see the movie this weekend, hit that comment section below. Share your own thoughts there. I cannot wait to hear what you all think. As always, I must insist that we be respectful to one another. Whether you like the movie as much as I did, if you are critical of it, that is totally cool. Just express your thoughts respectfully in the comment section below. This is a safe space to talk about the films and shows we love or we're critical of. All right, before I let you go, a big Patreon thank you is going out to Logan. Logan, thank you so much for being part of the campaign. I hope all is going well in school. You rock, my friends. I will see you soon on Slack. To everybody out there now, big thanks for watching this review. Do not leave it without liking and sharing it, and I'll see you soon with more of them.